here we are, now to find the evil Maid of Windemere.
Welcome to my home, beloved. I hope it suits your fancy, for you will never leave it. Wenches is here, along with his court of enchantments. The great halls and corridors echo with their voices, of the ancient stories told and forgotten. It is time to begin anew, for we write the final chapter of the House of Ballads. Only when the memory of ancient glories has faded, can new glory be forged. Everything you see, the castle and all that resides in it, could be yours. That includes my love. Consider it.
Yeah, well, you know the strings that come attached to that love, as you call it? Yeah, that's
And to the dawn, to the echoed dusk, I, the king of ancient ballads, scepter of this house, and the falcon of Detir, annihilator of Elkmar, and on, languish in a sanctifice. We will hear no more from the local sages, nor listen when we venture forth alone. These wintry beckons, the brazen gull that calls and boasts to others of her kind, from Magwell, Maid of Windemere, once again enraptured me in my honor.
Sagmo, you've come at last. It's time to cross swords with one worthy of your talents. You have caused the Maid much grief, and that saddens me. Luckily, your death will provide her much pleasure. I honor the Emerald Lady with every head I lay at her feet. Yours is next.
Huh. I think if your dispelling skill is high enough, you have the option of getting these people out from under her charm or whatever. I guess the spell used to capture their minds is the same thing they used to lock those chests and stuff. Similar, anyway. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Rather not have had to kill this guy. His part in the story is essentially over. This is we're writing in new pages now, right? Yep. So basically the entire court is imprisoned here. You can call it a prison. Just got their minds enslaved with some kind of enchantment. That's prison enough.
A wretched fool of pride am I to think I could resist her seduction. I know perdition like the terrestrial decay, a crutch that saps the dew of youth. She was pink manifested, a heart serene, sublime, a clamorous cascade, all in calumnious wonder. When night falls on the countryside, the noise of wanton opprobrious lechery, the stench of sullen and again in turn, am I lost?
I know it's hard to hear, but these lore stones, as poetic as they sound, are making like 0 sense. I mean, it's obvious whoever falls under her spell is, well, not in control of their own thoughts or their own mind. I get that, but it's making 0 sense. Not me, anyway. Cool poetry, I guess. But, I guess the bottom line is she brings those under her will with her enchantments and stuff, and her will, things that fall under her will, don't seem to end well. Let's just put it that way. Didn't end well for Father Ater or his apprentice.
She loves her slave, the mind of sleep. deathly pagan of submission that trembles near her touch. From ecstasy so base she laughs. She is all. I adore her. I love her without repudiation, malcontent, denial, or falsehood. At times beneath the veil of lusty happenstance, to prove there is no more of Belmaid, my old love. There is only Margaret, only Belmaid.
At last you've come. The Maid has made her sick fantasy a reality. Everything she was has been warped by the Prismere crystal she holds so dear. It is difficult to tell if she controls it, or if it controls her. We must escape this place. The telling has failed us, Sagril. Nothing is certain. If we must. But I fear I have no role in this song now. We are far beyond what is familiar. The Maid will be in the courtyard, where our ballad finds its end. Come, I will show you. Perhaps then I will find the courage that is required.
Oh, I see. So once the future isn't certain and all written out for you, you turn coward? Scared of change, huh? I guess fear isn't something the Fae are accustomed to either. Well, we mortals have to deal with that day in, day out. About time you got a taste of that. But then again, that's change for the Fae, you know? I think what the writer tried to do here was stack a whole bunch of moral lessons.
This is a tragedy.
And stuff, kind of, you know, all together. The way it's told, it's not just one thing. There's lots of ideals being represented here. Very cool, man. Very cool. I guess when you take mortals, as the Fae look down upon them in their false sense of superiority, self-appointed position of superiority and authority, and they're essentially losing that by their futures being uncertain, you know. And join the crowd. All of a sudden, the mortals appear stronger now, don't they?
Look at this, Olaine. The Maid's old keep still has vermin lurking in its shadows. Tell me, Sagril, is there a reason we shouldn't exterminate you? I know who I am. I am Belmaid, servant of the Queen of Spring, the Maid of Wyndemere.
But she's not supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be Winston's true love, according to the original story. But now everybody's been enraptured by her, and she's just going to start rewriting things. But first, she has to essentially get rid of the entire court, which we appear to be doing for her, in a sense. But yeah, you got a choice when you face uncertainty, when you face your future, when you go off into the unknown. If you don't take chances, if you don't have some courage, then nothing gets done. What if all the pioneers who preceded us and got us where we're at had not done anything, had given into their fears and not taken chances? Then where would we be, you know? I think that's kind of another object lesson here. Look here. These mages, I'll tell you what. I think she's bad, boy, the Maid of Windermere herself. We're saving this fate meter that I got full right here. Yeah, we're saving that. I already know what it is. This is one of the few fights where I say it can destroy you really, really, really quick.
I despise this ruin.
So what, by killing off the rest of the court. We're essentially saving them from a fate worse than death, to be enslaved by this confused Maid of Wyndemere, I guess. I mean, that's the quest here, to save them. Well, like I say, if we had enough dispel to break the enchantment, whatever bewitching or whatever she's done to these folks, then yeah.
And with sacred vows of the rising sun, the eternal flood of a love lies near, a streamlet of satisfied honey truth, like the flowered scent of a bedewed veil, so wistfully endures the swollen heat, persists through time and doubt, until at last, like heaven's jury in a court of chance, proffers forth the once impending evil. A love, but this one most divine and fair. The memory of Queen Bellmaid, my faith, my heart and will. The gentle calming wind that like the supine earth a tree's embrace, I'd welcome it. I remember Bellmaid.
Stop! Sagar, wait! Go no farther! I can't do this. I can't. You must understand. Every time I have faced the Maid of Wyndemere, we've both dangled by the strings of fate, puppets in the telling. Now she is free of those bonds. I would not even know how to face her. Before, my victory was assured. I have never known failure. This story is yours now, my friend. Take the King's token. You are the only one left worthy of possessing it. It was you she wanted all along. I believe in
She just wanted someone that was not a tool. You're a coward. Because it's uncertain, because your moves aren't already scripted for you. You're scared to face it. Wow. See, that's the that exposes a person's true character. When faced with adversity, how do you respond? How do you react to it? We all fail sometimes. But like that right there, where it really comes down to it, you got to be who you're meant to be. And just, wow. What a loser. Epic fail.
We meet in the flesh at last. It is a pity our relationship ends here. I was beginning to think we had a future, as creatures of common purpose.
Her armor's pretty cool.
Perhaps, but you and I are the same. We challenge the past and strive to rewrite the future. We are singing the greatest song of all. The Tuatha have taught me that power only comes with the willingness to destroy, to begin anew and tell new stories. And in Prismere, they have found the means to do so. I weep for what might have been. You and I, side by side, wielding the power of the crystal. But there can only be one hero.
No, enslave myself to the crystal like you have everyone enslaved to yourself. There's no free will there. You want free will to rewrite the future, but you're a prisoner of something else's will. Alright, well, what she does is she spawns like 365 enemies. Like, literally 365 enemies. But they all hit you at once.
I have spent a lifetime being ignored. No longer.
I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, right? Yeah, she summons like a bunch of those Lanshees and some Thresh and probably Crudox. I don't even remember what else. You know what? We're just not even going there. Let's go get the last stone of this set and get out of here.
The terrible course of nature this years. Yet I'll not harm her, nor preclude justice. A single parting gift of love I give to this misguided maid of Windemere. I suffer no, a swift death down to her, and give her illusion, as she to I, and balmy blood and breath from her pours forth, a hidden dagger wielded in my hand, a torture to see the ignorant soul. The white birds of winter slowly chased each other to the cold ground as the mourners wept their tears of the hero and the maid.
Yeah, the king was eventually supposed to vanquish her. So this was sort of kind of already written anyway. But, yeah, in order to free herself from the bonds of fate or her pre-written story or whatever you want to call about it, they're little tales. She enslaved herself. Prismere took her captive just as assuredly as fate did. I mean, really, if you think about it. How cool is that? Trying to remember who else there is to train with. You know, honestly, I'll have enough points leveling up for all these skills anyway. Let's see, we got, what, 14 points invested in sorcery? I think I could save about, at least about 5 of those. And dump them into something else. If I switch to the bow. I got to invest in the bow anyway, so we can unlock this, blade honing. That's really the one we're pushing for right there. And then pretty much everything else will go into might. But we'll unlock at least, what, 3 or 4 tiers of archery. Make the bow pretty strong. I don't use my secondary weapon a whole lot anyway. Like I say, threw the chakrams around just to show off a little bit, because I think they're really cool. But, okay, we're going to have points in finesse regardless. Pretty much equal points, finesse and might, up to a certain point because of the critical chance that's built in as a passive, and that's really why we're going for that. In that sense, it's the strongest fate for, or class for our characters, the one that gives you the critical chance. Critical chance and critical damage are definitely what this is all about. Alright, well, let's hoof it on back to Court of Enchantments. What they're going to do now that King Winston has essentially stepped down from his throne and not fulfilled his role, what could have been a new role? If he would have done something else, then I guess that would have been written. But you know what? I'm thinking that whatever history or whatever future holds isn't going to be part of a rewritten, retold tale. I think everything now is pretty much an open book from this point forth. And that's what our character represents. Symbolic of change, you know?
You have returned, victorious. I know you had a chance to change our telling, to break the Maid and the House of Ballads from their natural course. Yet, you did not. You struck down the witch Magware and restored our legacy for now. But there were casualties. The Maid's death rendered Wenson impotent. This cannot stand. As a result, you have ascended to your rightful place. You are now Queen of the House of Ballads.
But immortal. Plus 6 mana, plus 3% chance to steal 5 health. I'll take the mana. That's cool. That will actually come in handy. I don't really care about Fey Blades. They're really not my thing. Okay, well, conveniently we're right here, and I think this is where we're supposed to meet Alan Shear.
Codex, just like in the tales.
There she is, with her sexy voice.
Claim over many stories, but still, why would the Codex reveal itself to a child of dust?
Because things are changing around here, dude, that's why. Arrogant ass.
And here I was beginning to think that you'd never show up. This is Glynel, Lore Master of the House of Ballads. Give the Codex over to him, and he may have your answers. Lore Master Glynel has devoted centuries to the study of lore and ancient Fey stories. The Codex you found isn't just any lore stone. Just talk to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to shed some light on the issue. Be on your way.
I was unaware that you were associated with Lady Shear. She speaks very highly of you. An occasion rare enough to be worth recording in its own right. But let's see this Codex. Perhaps another of your tales will be written within. Oh, nothing. This is no mere lawstone, you know. The Codex of Destiny is distilled knowledge from the High King of the Fae, given to the first Fate Weavers. To have such knowledge in your hands is a tremendous gift, but why did it reveal itself to you? If you had told me such a thing before your adventure with the Maid of Wyndemere, I would have doubted you. Now, I can make out some parts, but this is odd. The Codex speaks of an exception, a void, an end to the endless. This is simply too much. The High King would never pawn such absurdity off as wisdom. I'm sure you think it is. I fear you must have been taken in by a forgery. A perfectly created one, perhaps, but a forgery nonetheless. But this codex speaks of impossible things, changes to fate, death of the immortals, and other heresies. To ascribe these lies to the High King would be... I'm sorry, but I must ask you to take it away. I will have no part in these lies.
Wow. Stay ignorant, then.
Do not bother me with such foolishness again.
Because you don't understand it, it has to be fake? What an idiot.
Cherishing old stories, but show him something truly new, and he dismisses it.
Or runs in terror.
First of all, we ignore this fool. Most Fae aren't comfortable with change, and you are certainly something new. I'm afraid that only one person will really be able to help us with the Codex. The High King himself. It will be difficult. His court is in the city of Issa. Very few mortals are permitted in its gardens. I do know one individual who can grant you permission to enter, but you'll have to meet him alone. Nerulem is a private person, and he carries a grudge against me. Although perhaps person isn't the right word for him, nor is him. You'll find him in southeast Dalentoth, at Caer Nerulem. Just head towards the giant tree, and, well, you'll see. You'll have to meet him on your own. I'd accompany you, but Nerulem and I have our disagreements. Good luck with Nerulem, and ignore anything he says about me.
Okay. I love her voice, man. Wow. Okay, I guess we have a direction to go then. We might go hit up a Fate Weaver and respec. We might, but yeah, down there in the She. Well, huge tree is right. It takes up about a quarter of the map. All right then, I guess that's where we're headed next. Y'all take care, and I will see you on the next one. Appreciate you hanging out. And until later, bye-bye.